Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm gonna continue with my autumn fall altered book. I did show you in the first design team project for Rach Crafts. I did show you how I made all these tags. I'll link down below to this and I'll put it in a playlist so it's easy to find. And I did say that I was going to be making an altered book. I think I showed you excuse me, sneezing, how I have removed the pages, but I'll just recap just in case you didn't see that. So this is not an old book, it's quite a modern book. It's bigger than I would normally use, but I fancied doing something a little bit bigger. And they're stitched signatures, and it is the first time I've done an altered book with stitched signatures. I think the first time I tried it, all the pages fell out, but it was a really old book. So I am following Kylie's paper crafts. Oh, I'll link down below if I remember. But she showed us, and I thought, what a really good way of doing it. So you snip the threads and you pull out your signatures, and what you find is that you then get to a point where you're on the outside of theirs and they're stuck in. So those are stuck in, and that's what you're left with. And you can see I'm left there with them stuck in. And then you can either glue two pages together and make your pockets, or what I'm doing is I am just covering the pages, or I'm going to do this book and there'll be some pages I won't cover because that's pretty as it is, and there I'll probably just put a pocket so I can see the top, which is why I'm going to do it in this book. Some pages are a bit boring, but some aren't. And then you've got all these pages that you've pulled out that you can use to make tags and things and other embellishments, because they're really, really pretty. So that's a future project. And so then we're doing this one. So I have done most of the pages. I'm just going to show you what I've done, and I was just looking at what I might do on the front here, and I might just glue that down. And this I did in the Be Summer Inspired collaboration, but I quite like the sunflowers and I thought they'll go with autumn, it's the right colours. So I thought I might put this in the front. I might change my mind. I quite like leaving the fly sheets as they are, and then we started with the covering. Now I'm going to show you this because I don't recommend this. So what I did, let me go forward. I have showed this in a previous video. They're all just ready to go in. Because this is bigger than a half a sheet of standard paper A4 in the UK, I went round all the outside in tea. It took a couple of days drying in between. We had a sunny day, so it was fine. And then I print my principles onto 120 GSM presentation paper, so it's quite thick, and then I stuck it in with my Carlisle glue that I use. That's been decanted, that's not what it looks like when you buy it. And that makes it quite stiff. So actually these pages, it's like now it's cardboard. And what I did with this sheet was I folded it over to create a pocket with just coffee dyed underneath. So if you can imagine, I've got coffee dyed paper there, which was 80 GSM. I've got 120 GSM paper here, so that's 200 GSM, and then you've got the paper, and then you've got the glue, so it's like card. So anyway, I carried on and did the first 4 pages like that, and then I thought, it's really stiff, don't like it. So then I stuck I did that page as well. This one I decided to just put glue stick on the middle and then just glue the edges with collard, so it's not quite as stiff, but still stiff. And then for these I have just literally put the glue around the outside, and these are now bendable, pliable, and they've got such a lovely, lovely feel about them. Can you hear the crinkle? It's just really, really nice. So that would be the way to go. Now, I went to a craft retreat at the weekend and I put all these pages in. So 2 days sitting there chatting, laughing, and I did this. Some of the pages I have folded to make pockets with, but listen, that's just like, I could do that all day. It's just lovely. Lots of people kept coming up and I go and stroke it. It's just lovely. So some pages I've done with coffee paper, some are music paper, some with, I even did encyclopedia paper. So like stuck in a book page over a book page, but it's old. And then the digitals. And some, you might find occasionally it will pull away. Oh, it's not that one that I've mended. That one I mended. Sometimes occasionally it pulls away. So I mend it with micropore. Can't see it. There it is. So this is just like surgical tape. It's really thin, but it's quite strong. Stick it in, go over with your blending brush, you know, ink it, and you can hardly see it there. So that's what I do on little bits like there that have come away. That's me experimenting, deciding. So you can see here, so if we go there, little bit, come away. So take a little bit of the tape. Brand name for this is in the UK is Micropore, but you can buy own brand versions. It works. I used to be a nurse, and I once had a patient rip the pocket off my dress, and I had to go the rest of the shift. So I just took some Micropore and taped up the pocket. And then I forgot about it. It went in the wash. It came out. It still held my pocket. I never actually mended my pocket. I just left the Micropore on it. I've done hems with it, you know, just as emergencies. So there. Put that in. Give it a good press down, and then come along, bit of ink. And it just like disappears. But now that's mended, so it's all right. So yeah, so that's what I did. Oh, it doesn't look like I went round this. So that's what I did. So I stuck them in. This one looks like it's not gone round it very much. Got some ink, just with my blending brush, rather than ink each page because that takes forever. Just then a quick flick with your brush, and that goes around the edges quite nicely. I've left the strings. It's a junk journal. I thought they looked good. Kylie trimmed hers, but I liked it like that. So that's what I did. So I am just gonna show you again. I've got a pocket there. There's a few pages where I decided I like my pages to be, that's not necessarily all the same size. So there's the odd one where I've made it a little bit smaller, just to add a little bit of interest. So here we go. So I've got these sort of prepared, ready, where they might go on the page. So all I did was took my colour glue. That really needs filling up there, which that's going to annoy me. Let it come down. Just went round the edge. And I say I haven't glued the pages together, which you can do. I decided to leave this, so it was all the pages, the single pages, and I've covered both sides. And this is the sort of thing you can do watching telly. I say this is what I did on my craft retreat. Everybody else was making 3D boxes and bags and things, but I didn't want to make any of that lot, so I did this instead, which was a really good use of my time. Pull you over a bit, and I still chatted, and people were just fascinated with what I was doing. So, and they were like, that's really quite easy, I could do that. Some people are a bit afraid of sewing in signatures. I did try and tell them it's actually quite easy, and I did just recently do a video in real time, oops, of me filling in, sewing in signatures. Oh, I prefer the darker, so we'll put it on this side, just to show that it is not hard. But I always say, if you're a little bit scared, try an altered book. I've done other altered books with a Reader's Digest book where they were glued in, and that's a little bit different. So you go along and you rip the pages out, but because the first video I ever watched on an altered book said don't use sewn in signatures, and then other people were going, yeah, you can, Jess. I thought, oh, all right then, I'll give it a whirl. And then I say, Kylie did a really good video on it, and I was like, oh, champion, I'll do that. So I prepared this book right at the beginning of the summer, my new bone folder, and I thought it'd be really good for doing this. This was before I decided not to put glue on, but if you are covering your paper, that just gives you so much surface area to sort of burnish it down and make sure it's stuck down nicely. Yeah, so then just use my brush to go around the edges. I'm using Pecan Pie here. Some of the pages I've used Vintage Photo, but I was using Pecan Pie at the weekend because it was a Stampin' Up event, and I thought it'd be a bit cheeky to get out ink that's not Stampin' Up. So yeah, and I like Pecan Pie anyway, or Pecan Pie. So yeah, and because you're using the brush, it catches the edges of the paper, and that works really well. So I've got another one to do, and then the last one, and I'm going to leave those pages as they are. So let me just quickly do these ones. So that is them all done. So that's every page covered. I think it's about 60 pages. I think I said that in the first video. So I'll decorate these at some point. I might just leave them as they are, but yes, so that's all my pages done. So my plan is to add, so we've got some pockets already, but not very many in there, and it's all Rach and Bella's beautiful background papers, and I did a double sheet spread on that one because that was designed to be that way. A few pages I've done 2 bits of pattern paper, but not many, and then the odd time I've done it with a littler one. Got some plain there, just quickly flicking through so you can see what I've done, and so they are now all prepared, ready. I love that page. All prepared, ready for adding pockets. So I've kind of just gone ahead and prepared a pocket that may or may not end up on there. And I thought I'd do some belly bands. I've got some envelopes, might add a few flips and things. So haven't fully decided yet what I'm doing, but like what Kylie said, if you, particularly this book, which is much bigger, you have such big pockets if your pockets are the pages joined together, and that requires massive ephemera. And these are the pages that I don't like. But now the book is, you know, quite normal, whereas it was much reduced before. So that's nice. But what I want to do is address these mistakes. Now I can't just pull the pages out because that will affect the stability. So I did have a thought. So basically it's 4 pages. I'm going to leave that one because I think this journal's going to need a writing board. If you're going to sort of write and do journaling on this, I think you're going to need a writing board underneath. So I might make a writing board and put it in there. It's not going to be the full size, so I don't know. I'm going to think about it. Actually, I could just make a pocket out of these and slot the writing board in. Or now I'm getting an idea. So my thoughts were to chop these down and leave about 1.5 inches. Yeah, sort of chop it down to about there. And have a removable. No, I'm not going to do a removable writing board. If I want the writing board to be like the size of the page, yeah, we'll forget about that. So, so my thoughts were chop these down and insert something. And I have printed there it is. I have printed that beautiful sheet in vellum. So as a thought, if I cut it down and then I can have a vellum sheet, which is not very much bulk, and it'll look pretty. So that is what I was thinking of doing, and insert it between these 2 sheets. So I need to cut down these. So I'm thinking of getting, this is going to be a little bit tricky. I think the best way of doing this is with a board. Yeah, board underneath, a knife. Don't think that one's very sharp. Let's get a new knife and we'll do that with it. Yeah, so butt that up there. Let's go down this line here. That kind of fits nicely into the cover. I don't like this knife, it doesn't stay out. It's really annoying. There we go. And we'll just slice that off. There we go. Sliced that off. So now we've got that off there. Do the same on this one. So just, I mean, hopefully you won't make this mistake, but maybe you've got some pages that you've put in something, you don't like it. This might give you some ideas of what you could do. these could now get chopped down to make journaling cards, so they won't be wasted at all. So we've now got that there. I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm just wondering about making this a little bit bigger, and it could be a pocket. So I might do that. I'm going to come out to there. Might make it a pocket that puts something in. Again, that's pretty, that size. That could be a tag. So, should I make this a little bit smaller? So that otherwise we're not going to see that pretty paper. Yeah, so I might do this one along there. Can always change my mind. So that was an idea. If that becomes a pocket, so you can still see that there. I can poke something little in there, and that's going to have the vellum inserted. So that was a way of getting rid of that. I haven't harmed the stability of the book in any way. I might just pop that out for the moment because that's going to be irritating. And then I'm thinking of popping that in there as a nice little non-bulky page. So I'm going to cut this in half, I think. Let's see where the half mark is. About there. Yeah. Then I've got that for something else. So that can go in there. Yeah. It just needs to be attached in there. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm just trying to think the best way to attach it. I don't want to create too much, but I'm just going to use some art glitter. Decanted a bit of art glitter into this. So let's put some down there to stick on the page. There we go. There's my little rag. There we go. It's just a dried baby wipe. Got a bit of a rough edge there. I'm just thinking of maybe putting a bit of ribbon or something down there. So what have I got? I've got me we could stick that down, make it look pretty. Yeah. So let me get my glue stick. I want some scrap paper. I've got something in my bin I'm throwing out. Yeah. And then I just want to put some glue stick down here, just on the edge. Where there's ribbon. I'll stick to. Wipe off the excess, because there is a little bit, because I was a little bit overzealous there. Where's my scissors? Cut that ribbon. Not bothered about it being on the edge there at all. Right, now we want to put a bit of hot glitter on the edge there, down the side. And just along the top of this one. So that should now stick together. I was racking my brains all weekend, and I was sort of saying, I've spoilt that front. They went, you'll think of something, Jez. And I was like, yeah, I will think of something. It's just not coming to me right now. I'm thinking we probably need a bit of ribbon down this side as well. Might put a bit of lace down this side. That's not big enough, but that is. That'll make it look pretty. Yep. So again, I need put some glue stick down. I don't want it to go on the vellum page. Should have done this before, but I've only just thought of it. There we go. Might do it straight side that way so the prettiness is on the inside. There we go. So, no mistakes in crafting, just opportunities to innovate. That's what we say. Let's just cut that down there. Okay. So that's that page sorted, and then what I might do here is ink those edges. don't think I went round these edges of the paper quite so well. And then we stick that down. I've got a little pocket and I can shove something in. Delicately placed, well thought out thing. And I'm gonna, because it's quite a large pocket, I'm just going to put glue all the way along that bit so that just fill in that section. And so now I could get something and it can just pop in there at a later date. Put a document or something in there, but I have got a pocket there to pop something in later. So that is how I sorted out that mistake. Not a mistake, chance to innovate. So that's that. And I could pop a document in if I knew where they were. No, I'll do it later. So, and then we've got, so we begin with quite sort of different, that'll have something in it, quite different things. I'm just wondering, where's the, so I cut that pattern bit out. Oh, it's got that on. Shame it didn't have plain on the other side, Jez, because that would have been quite perfect to go in there, because it does match as well. But, you know, you didn't, so that's that. But anyway, yeah. So now my thoughts were put in some pockets and some belly bands. So I have made one pocket up here that I just randomly put in as an experiment. There, random little pocket that could go in, and a tag coming out, and I sort of made them so they were the right size for the tags that I've made. So I have made tags of different sizes. So if I was going to put one next to that, I'd kind of look for one that, oh, I think that might go nicely with that page. Yep. And that would go on the page nicely, like so. Yep, that would. Right, I'm going to show you how I made that pocket, and I might make it so it matches that, and then I can use that pocket somewhere else. So these were the pages that I originally decided to, well, I thought that I was going to use to cover these, but that's that one, isn't it? Yeah. Except it's the other way up, but that's absolutely fine. That I was going to use to stick in the book, but they were far too thick. But I thought, well, that's fine, because they'll be fine for making the pocket. So I'm going to make the pocket out of that one. So they might not all be this size. Oh, I've stuck one down. So I've stuck ½ an inch down there. So basically, I've got to remind myself because I forgot. It is 5 inches wide by 4.5 inches tall. So that's what I've done. So, oh, I think that might be, is that the door? Oh, yeah, what's the door? It's a postman. Whopping Gate big box. Weighs nothing. There we go. just checking I'm doing it right. Yeah, 4.5. I'm out of breath now, so I ran 4.5 by 5. I love that nice flower, although we are going to miss the top. By 5. And then we're just going to score 1/2 inch round each You don't have to be this precise, you could just fold if you want to. I like to score because I like it to be precise. There we go. And then I'll just fold and burnish those. Like so. Right, now the top, just going to, where's your glasses, Jez? Doing this blind. There we go. Just snipping the edges up to where you've scored, so that you've got yourself some tabs. Like so. So that's what you've got. Hard to see. That's what you've got. Put that where the glare is. Okay, so we've just taken the corners off. The top one is glued down so that the edge is nicely reinforced. And I'm saying because these are going to be, I hadn't printed on the back or tea-dyed because I was thinking I was sticking these to the pages, but now I'm going to make pockets out of them. They still don't need to be dyed or anything. So these are going to get folded up like that. So I am just going to put glue. You put the sides in, you put the bottom over the top, because if you glued them that way, you've got that could potentially catch whatever you put underneath it. Whereas if you do it that way, you've got nothing for it to catch. So I just put a bit of glue on the edges here so that they fold down and only stick to the side flaps. And you see they're slightly coming up there. Well, give it a minute to glue down. There we go. And then I just do a bit of inking around the edges. The pockets can then be decorated further if you want to, but for the moment I'm just interested in making them like so. And then I'm just going to bring my book back in. So that that can get placed on there, and that can get placed on there, and that's a nice matchy little shape there. I like it. Now I could do some stenciling or some stamping on this page behind if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to leave it. So put some glue on it. I might, because that needs filling up. It's driving me insane. I'm going to embrace the art glitter because I don't use it very often, because It's not my favourite glue. I think that's really runny. And I don't like it so much, so I'm just gonna use my fingers to spread it out. Because I want to make sure you don't go over this bit. Because that would glue the pocket closed in places that I don't want it closing. Okay. There we go. Right, so now the problem is this bit of paper here isn't straight. So I'm kind of looking at the bottom of the page to get it straight lined up, which is difficult because we've got like an optical illusion going on. Do it like, move it a little bit like that. I think that's probably straight. So now I'm going to go underneath so that the sides are stuck down. Art glitter, they say, doesn't take long to stick. There we go. That's my pocket. That's my tag. There we go. So that is one idea for that page. So over here, we could leave that as journaling and we could put something on this. I could put another pocket, but I don't want two pockets next to each other. So I'm thinking maybe a belly band. So I cut myself some strips of can't find them now, but I have cut myself some strips of paper. There we go. Those aren't cut. I've got them pre-cut ready, and then I went and shoved some things on top. That was good, Jess. So I've got a Primark bag, and I've cut these 2 inches wide and just a little bit shy of the height of my book. And I thought we'd take some of these pages and make some belly bands. Now I've got one that's got a bit of music on, so that's what I'm looking for. I know there's one that's got some music. That's got some music. That's got some music. Yeah, I knew I had some music. Right. I have cut them so they're a little bit so there was a bit me that was, I've cut them a bit longer than that because I didn't want it to be A4, but that's okay. So I want this, I want it up there. I might stick 2 on this, just, or a few on there. So I'm just going to stick these to that, and then they'll be nice. And I get 4 across. I've made them 2 inches wide, so I should get 4 across because it's 2 1/4. Yeah, I will. So I can get 4 belly bands out of this one. I'm not using art glitter for this. No, 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 no. Get glue stick. And then I'll just use colour around the outside. I'm going to turn that upside down in a pot there so it goes down. So put glue stick 100% Trust glue stick. So that's why I'm putting the colour around the outside. And that can get stuck. And I can line it up to the edge of the page. Give it a good burnish. Like so. Get my cloth. Clean up my non-stick mat. There we go. So that is how I'm going to continue with these. And that gives me, I always forget belly bands, so that's why I cut some up, and I thought we'll distribute these sort of evenly through the altered book. Okay, so that's them stuck down, so now I can just cut them out. Would normally wait a little bit until it was dry before I cut out, but I'm on the clock. I need to get this done before I go out for my lunchtime walk. So stick them on my guillotine, and I'm gonna cut them down to the size of that small one. There we go, marvellous. And then I'm going to go in here. They're all 2 inches, so along there, roughly. Right, that's a little bit less than 2 inches. There we go. One belly band. Because it's collaged, you kind of don't know what you're going to get, really. Right, so let's get rid of that edge. And I can kind of see top and bottom of there where the brown is. So that'll do. Take that strip off. I'm going to do this the other way now. Take a slither off that edge. So I want to make sure that there is 2 layers on each of them. So that one needs a little bit of a sliver off, so I can still see a bit of the white. Bit more over. all fine. Put you away. Get rid of them bits. Keep that. So now, so I wanted that strip there with the music. So we'll just give it a bit of ink all the way around. And these can be embellished further, which I might do, but for now it's just about making them and popping them in. That'll do. Right, so let's find the page where it's going. So it's going on top of that music paper. I think that works a treat. Got a bit of glue I can see on there, so I'm just gonna take it off. Yeah, that's got rid. Any other? No, you're fine. So gonna glue that in place there. And I could put it that side, but I think that's nice for having some journaling. So I'm going to put about 1/2 inch worth of glue so that it's held fast and strong. Very watery. Not a massive fan, I have to say. So there we go. So we've got pocket, belly band. Don't want to do too much on that because it's just pretty. So what could go over here would be an envelope. Now I did make some envelopes from the kit, found them. So this could just go over the page like that with a paper clip to decorate that. I've put them somewhere, but I don't know where they are. So that needs a paper clip, which I will locate at some later date. I'll leave that because it's pretty. That's already got a pocket. That could have another, I could put another belly band maybe in there. That's got a bit of music on it. Possibly, or I could possibly put a pocket in there. This needs something because, so I might actually belly band and pocket here. That would potentially look nice. So that's what I'm doing now, is sort of going through and adding the embellishments. That's another double there that I quite like. That will have a pocket on it, and so on. I might put some flips in some places. That would look good. I've got no, so yeah, so I think next time we might do some flips, but for now I think we'll call that video a day. Done quite a bit. So we worked out those front pages, added some bits in here. That's going to have something in it. Don't quite know what, but let's just put that in it for now. So we'll have something in there. We've got ourselves a pocket. There, we've got a belly band. Belly band can have an envelope stuck behind it. We need a bigger envelope than that, or you can put something like that there, and then still have something behind. It's a good way of adding pockets. That's got an envelope there. So yeah, we will continue to go through and add bits and bobs. Oh, there's a nice blue one there to go in there. So yeah, that is what we're going to do. I will think of some more things other than belly bands and pockets, but I will carry on making them in the way that I've done, add me belly bands and pockets, and then see what else I'm going to do to embellish this journal. So there we go. Hope you like those ideas, and I will be back with another design team project for Rach Umbrella Crafts later on in the month, and I will put the links down below to these beautiful kits so that you can get them. One kit is free over on a Ko-fi site, so I'll put the links for you. Okay, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.